Good morning, children. This is Nageshwar Rao, IIT Chemistry Faculty. Let us continue our topic matter in our surroundings. In the previous class, already we discussed about can matter change its state or not. If it is changing one state of matter into another state of matter, what are the two factors are very important? Means temperature and pressure. Already we discussed effect of change of temperature by changing its state of matter. In that one, we discussed about mainly melting, boiling, condensation, and the next one, freezing. These are the important definitions we discussed, and in that one, we discussed mainly what is meant by melting point and factors affecting melting point, boiling point and factors affecting the boiling point. In today's class, we are going to discuss about one more important change of state of matter, that is nothing but sublimation. That is nothing but sublimation. Then what is meant by sublimation? What is meant by sublimation? It is quite different compared to the remaining all change of state of matter, because whenever you are applying some temperature, some state of matter can be changes to either solid to liquid or liquid to gas, or gas to liquid or liquid to solid. This is what we saw in the previous class. But here what is meant by sublimation means sublimation is a process of conversion of solid to liquid, solid to gas or gas to solid directly without converting any liquid state. That means we are converting solid state of matter directly to gaseous state of matter by increasing temperature. By increasing temperature, or else the direct conversion of gaseous state into solid either by decreasing temperature or increasing pressure That means what is meant by sublimation means the conversion of the direct conversion of solid to gas without formation of any liquid. We can call it as sublimation process. Let us see how the sublimation process we can identify. How the sublimation process we can observe by seeing one small activity. Mainly let's take one burner. Take one tripod stand. Here just keep one wire gauze. You are not supposed to keep any type of this directly to the tripod stand. You just keep one wire gauze. Take one china dish. This is called china dish. This is called wire gauze. This wire gauze contains middle one white color layer. What is the use of that white color layer means it will transfer the heat to the china dish uniformly. If you are not keeping this wire gauze, what will happen? It will directly heat to any one of the place of the china dish, and there may be a chance to broke the china dish. To avoid the breakage of china dish or any vessel where you are doing the experiment, you are supposed to use wire gauze. That is the advantage of the wire gauze. The layer which is there, the layer which is present in middle of the wire gauze is nothing but asbestos layer. Let us see. In this china dish, you just take NH4Cl compound. The compound is NH4Cl, means ammonium chloride. Now just give some heat energy. Before that, you just cover this china dish with a funnel. This is nothing but a funnel. That means cover this china dish with a funnel, and here one hole is there. You just keep one cotton thread here. Then what will happen? When you are heating, any substance won't escape from the gap which is there in the funnel. That's why to avoid the escaping of the vapors, we need to cover with what? Cotton thread. Then let us see the activity here. Just take one china dish and pour some ammonium chloride compound. Then give heat energy continuously. After few minutes, you can see some NH4Cl compound will be present on the walls of the funnel. You can see some NH4Cl compound will be present on the surface of the funnel. What will happen here? When you are heating any solid compound, usually it converting into liquid state. But when you are heating NH4Cl, you are not observing any liquid. Here what happened? Without seeing any liquid, but you can see again some solid NH4Cl is there in the surface of the funnel. That means what happened here? The solid compound, the solid NH4Cl what you are taking here is directly converted into vapor state, and due to this one, that means due to when you are close that one, what will happen? There is so much pressure, and due to condensation process, what will happen? Again the vapors will be converting into solid state. This is the process what we can call sublimation process. That means first here when you are heating, the NH4Cl, that means ammonium chloride, is directly converted into vapor state, and again due to condensation process what happened? The the vapors are converted into solid state. That means this is the best example for the sublimation process. We can identify very easily. If you are not cover this funnel with this thread, cotton thread, what will happen? The vapors will be escape out. You can't see anything. Then you can't identify what happened to the ammonium chloride compound. To identify that one, we need to cover with the cotton thread. Then you can see how this is converted to gaseous state and how again it is converted into solid state. That is why this is the best activity to identify sublimation process. Here ammonium chloride having nature, when you are giving heat energy, it is directly converted into gaseous state without formation of any liquid. That is why ammonium chloride is the best example for the sublimation process. Let us see some more examples. Dry ice. I think heard about this one. Solid carbon dioxide is also called as dry ice. Dry ice is also a best example for the sublimation process. I think you can see this one in so many movies. You can artificial clouds they are preparing and all by using this dry ice only. There they will keep the dry ice, and by taking the temperature from the outside, it is directly converted into gaseous state without forming any liquid state. That is why dry ice is also one of the best example for the sublimation process. Like this, we know very well-known example, that is nothing but camphor. Camphor. In our homes, we are using camphor, karpuram. That is also one of the best example for the sublimation process. And the next example is naphthalene. Okay, these are some of the examples for the sublimation process. What is meant by sublimation? Sublimation is nothing but the direct conversion of solid into gas or gas to solid. And what are the examples for the sublimation process? Dry ice, that is nothing but solid carbon dioxide, camphor and naphthalene. And what are the applications of the sublimation? That means what is its use? By using sublimation process, what we can do? Sometimes whenever you want to purify any type of solid compound, for purification, okay, for purification, if any compound contains non-volatile solid, for example, non-volatile solid, if a mixer contains a non-volatile solid, then what will happen? We can purify that compound by using sublimation process, because one of the compound easily volatile, another compound is non-volatile solid. Then what will happen? We can able to purify that compound very easily. The next one, freeze dry food, freeze dried foods. That means by using sublimation process, we can preserve some type of freeze dried foods for a long time. This is one more important one. These are the some of the important applications of the sublimation process. I think you understood what is meant by sublimation and what are the different type examples of the sublimation, and this is the activity we can show, okay, how sublimation process takes place. Let us see one more important one, that is nothing but, this is very important one, latent heat. Latent heat. What is meant by latent heat? What is meant by latent heat? Okay, normally when you want to calculate melting point or boiling point, okay, that means usually when you are melting the ice or boiling the water, how you will test the boiling point or melting point? By using thermometer or any apparatus. That time, after reaching its melting point of ice or boiling point of water, you can observe at 100 degrees Celsius for boiling point of water. At 100 degrees Celsius, what will happen if it is pure water? Means at 100 degrees Celsius, you cannot see any change in the reading. That means this is the thermometer, for example. Let us take 100 degrees Celsius for pure water. You are going to calculate the boiling point of water. When you are checking the boiling point of pure water in the thermometer, let us take, after reaching the level at 100 degrees Celsius, then you didn't see any change in the temperature until some time. What is the reason behind that? You are not stopping to give the temperature. Okay, just you are calculating the boiling point of water by giving some heat energy. Here, if it is pure water, means absolutely it contains the boiling point is nothing but 100 degrees Celsius. That we know very well. When you are calculating the boiling point of water, what happened to the reading in the thermometer? It will rise until what? Until 100 degrees Celsius. Afterwards, didn't observe any change in the temperature in the thermometer. What is the reason behind that? Here, you are keep on heating, but the temperature is not rising in the apparatus. What is the reason behind that? What happened to the heat energy what you are giving here? If you are giving heat energy, compulsory you need to show in the thermometer. But it is not happening here. You are not put out the fire. You are giving continuously. But even the reading is not changing. After reaching 100 degrees Celsius. Why? What happened? Where the temperature gone? Where the heat energy what you are giving is gone? What happened to the temperature? That is nothing but latent heat. Latent heat is nothing but hidden heat. Okay, hidden heat. That means while boiling or melting, some amount of heat energy is hidden, which is not showing in the apparatus. That means either the thermometer. It is not showing there. That hidden temperature what we can call as latent heat. That hidden temperature what we can call latent heat. Here Latent heat is two types. One is latent heat of fusion. Fusion is nothing but melting. What is meant by latent heat of fusion? That is nothing but the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid. Okay, the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid is called latent heat of fusion. Fusion is nothing but what? Melting. Another name of melting is nothing but fusion. Melting means what? Conversion of solid into liquid. That means what is meant by latent heat of fusion? The amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid. To convert 1 kg of solid into liquid. Here, normally latent heat of ice is nearly 3.3 into 10 power 5 joule per kg. That means for 1 kg, how much heat energy we need to require? 3.3 into 10 power 5. 3.3 into 10 power 5. That means what is meant by latent heat of fusion? The amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid. Okay, that means this is the energy you are giving to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid. Then here we have one doubt. What is that? Means after reaching melting point of ice 0 degrees Celsius, some amount of heat energy is hidden, or boiling point of water. What happened to that hidden energy? That is nothing but the hidden heat energy is used to break down the intermolecular force of attraction between the solid particles for melting. Understood? That means this is solid. You are giving some heat energy. Then what happened? Some temperature is rising in the thermometer. But after reaching melting point, there is no rising in the temperature in the thermometer. Then what happened to the given heat energy? The given heat energy is used to break down the intermolecular force of attraction between the solid particles. That hidden heat energy, what we can call latent heat. For fusion, it is called latent heat of fusion. Same like this only, one more thing is there, that is nothing but latent heat of vaporization. The next one is latent heat of vaporization. Now same like that only. Same like latent heat of fusion. The amount of heat energy required for 1 kg of liquid converted into gas. Same like latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization is nothing but the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of liquid into gas. Okay, now what is the latent heat of water? Latent heat of water is nothing but 22.2 into 10 power 5 kilojoules per kg. That means how much heat energy required to convert 1 kg of liquid into gas? 22.2 into 10 power 5 joule per kg. This is latent heat of vaporization. Here There is one important thing. What is that one means? Steam causes severe burns. Steam causes severe burns compared to the hot water. What is the reason? Like this they will ask. Steam is different, hot water is different. Steam causes severe burns. That means steam causes severe burns compared to the hot water. What is the reason behind this? Because the steam contains latent heat. That means hot water means what? Simply you are giving some temperature. You are just giving some temperature to heat the liquid. That is called hot water. But steam means what? When you will get steam? After reaching its boiling point. That means you need to heat until reaching its boiling point. That means 100 degrees Celsius. Afterwards only some heat energy will be hidden. That is only latent heat. Therefore, steam contains what? Latent heat. Therefore, it causes severe burns when compared to the hot water. That is what the reason. Why steam causes severe burn when compared to hot water means because of the only reason is latent heat of vaporization. Latent heat of vaporization. Okay. Hope you all understood what is meant by sublimation, what is meant by latent heat, what is meant by latent heat of fusion, and what is meant by latent heat of vaporization. Okay. We have one more important topic, that is nothing but evaporation. We will discuss about the evaporation in the next class. Thank you so much.